Good morning. Well, I survived the night. It was fine. Just rained all night long, but there weren't any high winds or anything, and I had a great camp spot on a grassy area. So there was no tent flooding or anything like that. My bag did get a little wet from rubbing against a wet tent. So tonight it's not going to be operating at its optimal because some of the down is probably going to be damp. Also, I've got to get a trash bag or something to put the wet clothes in that are going inside my bag, or wet things like the sleeping bag, so that it doesn't get my dry clothes wet. Tonight's going to be more interesting. Tonight's going to be the true test. Sleeping with a bag that's not so optimal. Temperatures are going to be colder because it's going to get windy later in the day. So I've got a couple goals set for today. Looking at 14 miles. And then there really isn't anything again until about 17 miles based on where the water can get into a shelter. I don't have to be in a wet tent. That might help things a little. But then it is going to be windy. That also means that rain could blow inside the shelter. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. You know, planning only goes so far out here. The rest you just gotta ride with. So I just remember something that I thought would be fun to Okay. Maybe right now is not a good time to talk about it. We'll get back to you in a minute. So something fun I thought I'd share with you. I've been tracking my sleep on my Garmin watch, and I've noticed that I have a pattern of not getting enough REM sleep. So that's, the dream state. So as I was getting to camp last night, I was looking on the Far Out app. That's where everybody can leave comments, for those that don't know. And someone had commented that on the trail ahead, they saw a big copperhead right on trail. Now, don't get all freaked out because that was in May. I don't believe the copperheads are out yet. They're still all cozied up in their little dens waiting for warmer weather. But we have had some few warm days, so who knows. Anyhow, so last night, I didn't have any problems with my REM sleep. I was dreaming away. In fact, I had a nightmare. Yep, got bit by a copperhead right in the thigh, and the thing was like just hanging on for life. And somehow I got from the trail to a town, and I was telling everybody to call 911, and they were looking at me funny like they didn't know what 911 was. I don't know what happened to myself. I woke up, but yeah, so I don't really even have a fear of snakes. I used to when I was younger, but after living in California for 10 years, seeing rattlesnakes all the time and hiking the PCT, I didn't think I was bothered by snakes. But copperheads are a new species, so I don't know. I guess they're dangerous. No problem finding water today. It's just running right off all the rocks. Remember I said that the mountain laurel reminded me of walking through a rainforest? Well, guess what? I found out at Neil Gap that this part of Georgia is a temperate rainforest. Go figure. Here I am, walking through a rainforest. I've only seen 2 other hikers in the 7 miles I've done so far today. They were both suction hikers. No other people. Oh, there was also a ridge runner, which is basically a forest ranger, basically. that's it. No other peoples. Where did everybody go? So let's talk about hiking in the rain a little bit. How do you hike in the rain? Well, you gotta realize up front, after a while, it doesn't matter what you're wearing, how expensive, or how much Gore-Tex, poncho, whatever. Eventually, you're gonna be wet. The poncho actually works pretty good, but it's wet on the inside, so it's getting the clothes underneath it a little bit wet. But it's not getting saturated like everything else. My rain pants are saturated, and I'm trying these out today, these mittens. You might remember that I was wearing blue gloves on the first day. They were special order Showa gloves, SHOWA. They may work for you, but I sent them home at Neil Gap. One, they were really tight fitting, and I don't even have big hands, and I think they were a size medium. And I really wanted something that I could wear gloves underneath. Plus, even though they're waterproof, and I have a friend, Halfway, shout out to Halfway, who said it kept his hands dry, but they didn't keep mine dry. And I'm suspecting the reason is because as soon as you take them off and expose them to the moisture, then you're sticking your moist hand back in there, and it's done. It's over. Now there's moisture in there. And with them being tight-fitting, you can really feel it. So these gloves, they're waterproof sealed, or seam sealed, sorry. And they're Mountain Laurel Event Rain Mitts, I think that's what the brand is. They're good, but again, as soon as I took them off, my hands got wet inside. But they're still pretty warm. I think it's because they're mittens, and so I have my other fingers to help keep them warm. It's also not a terribly cold day. It's only in the 50s. So, point being, everything's gonna get wet. And there's a motto out here. You have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. So right now I'm doing okay. But I gotta tell you, I can't take very long breaks. As soon as I stop moving, I can feel the chill coming in. The climbs, like right now, I'm gonna let you go very soon, help me stay warm. But yeah, you kind of have to just keep moving on days like this. Lunchtime, and time to dry out a little. Hopefully there's room for me. Whew. Hey everyone, this is what you do on a rainy day when you're having lunch at a shelter, or you just don't want to hike in the rain anymore. I'm going to give a shout out to Gabby and her channel, Journey to the Destination, if you want to check her out. She's over there covered up in her tent with her friend. What's your name?
Becky.
Becky. And who's this back here?
Rogue Foot?
Rogue Foot?
Yes.
Nice. And who are you? Who's this over here?
No doubt.
No Doubt. And
Dean.
Dean?
Yep.
All right. This is the Blue Mountain Shelter Gang. Okay, I'm back on trail from that nice little break at the shelter. It's been raining harder now than it has been all day. The hardest since I've been on the trail. The trail is basically turning into a brook. Not quite there yet, but it's going to be just one big, muddy, flowing stream very soon if it keeps raining like this. It's also very slippery, but the good news is my feet and my hands are not completely frozen, so my spirits are still pretty high. Got about just under 6 more miles that I want to get in for today, and we're going to call it. This is what the trail's looking like right now. half a mile from the top of Rocky Mountain. I have to get over this climb to get to my campsite and my next water source. And right on cue, I looked at my watch. It's 3:55, and according to mountainforecast.com, we were going to have thunderstorms at 4 o'clock. Guess what I'm hearing? Yep. Looks like I got a little bit of a flash flood going on. This will tell you how hard it's been raining. Going all the way into the woods. Going down here. Look at that. Wow, wow, wow. So this is the cheese factory campsite. Apparently there was a cheese factory here at one point. And this is where I am calling it and staying here tonight. My hope is that I can tuck myself into these mountain laurel in case it gets windy. And I get to find out if my stuff is soaking wet. Find a spot that's not gonna flood. Alright. Super, super windy out. But I've got my tent set up. I am not getting a lot of this wind. Most of it is going over my head. Okay, well maybe a little bit. You can see my tent flapping there. Anyhow, just want you to know that my belongings inside my bag did not get drenched in that torrential rain that we had, and I think I'm gonna survive the night, so that's a good thing. That was really the goal today, to see how I did waking up, hiking in the rain, going to sleep in the rain, waking up in the rain, and getting into a wet tent at the end of the day.